joining us today as we're live in studio with Bishop Greg Davis.
Well, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. As I say every day, Lord, send now prosperity. This is a special Greg Davis Live. And if I were you, I'd call everybody because I have a very, very special guest. He's a rapper. He's an artist. He's an actor. He's well known. I heard him do an interview on the Breakfast Club. He can't go nowhere, and nobody don't know who he is. He's tall. He's slender. He wears dark glasses. And then he has a gospel album. But he's a rapper. Who is it? Ladies and gentlemen, some people you don't even have to introduce. Welcome to Greg Davis Live and the Word Network all over the world, Snoop Dogg.
Bishop Davis, what's happening?
What's going on, sir?
I'm slow motion with the potion trying to get to the ocean.
Did you just think of that? Did you just think of those?
That's what we do, baby. That's what we do.
All right, let's do this. Let's start with this question. Who is Snoop Dogg? Where did Snoop Dogg come from? I know we've seen the movies and all that. Give me something that we don't really know.
Snoop Dogg is the second child to his mother, Beverly Broadus. He's a class clown. He's a fun, loving, caring individual who stands by what he says. He speaks for the people, likes being the voice for the voiceless, and giving back is his treat more than getting it in.
You a class clown?
Always.
Really? Did you get in trouble at all?
Always. I used to get suspended and everything. But me and my counselor, when I got to high school, we became best friends because he sat me down and he checked me and he gave me a reality on life that I really needed. Mr. Melvin Collins, he gave me that information. And I remember when my kids was going to high school, I brought them back to him.
Wow. So
he could give them what he gave me. So it was great people in my life growing up.
What are some of the things he said to him? Because you remember his name. What grade were you in?
I was in the 11th grade.
What's just one thing that just sticks out that he told you?
He said that I had the potential to be great, but I'm wasting my time being dumb.
Ooh, that's good.
And it hurt my feelings, but it was like once I became great, I had to go back and find him.
I had that moment, Harry Haynes. I remember his name, Harry Haynes. He told me, he said, you're going to be great. You're not like the rest of them. And you remember those things.
Right.
Where did you get the name Snoop Dogg?
Well, I used to watch a show called Charlie Brown and Peanuts.
Yeah.
And there was a character named Snoopy on there, and I used to love him so much. My mother said that I watched him so much that I started to look like him. So she never called me by my real name. My mother called me Snoopy to this day. So that's how I got the name Snoopy, from her and then family members, and then going in the streets, and that was my nickname. And then I became a rapper, and it was Snoop Rock-Ski because I love Cool Rock-Ski. Snoop Rock-Ski.
Oh, okay.
Because I like Cool Rock-Ski from the Fat Boys. And then I changed that to just Snoop Dogg, and then I went to Snoop Doggy Dogg. I was going through so many name changes to where when I finally locked in to the name that represented me the most, I was like, I'm cool with it. I'm going to stick down with this right here.
Why did it represent you the most, though? What was it about it that represented you?
I mean, I was always Snoop, but I just felt like it was a doggy-dog world that we was living in, and I felt like I could address it the best, you know. So Snoop Doggy Dog was my moniker. It was the thing I came with because I felt like I was going to be able to do what I did, and I did it.
When did you know that you had the gift to entertain in the rap game? What was the moment that you remember?
Wow. I don't know, because I was kind of like shy. I was kind of bashful, so I never really had moments like that. Like, it was a few moments where I rapped at like house parties, and I rocked the house party, and I was like the youngest one there. I was like 16, and everybody else was like 24, 25. But I rocked the house party, and it gave me a feeling of, man, I could be good because they liked me and they was clapping for me.
So that was it right there. You felt within yourself, I can make some money.
Yeah. I didn't think I could make money.
Really?
I just thought I could be good.
That's even better.
Right.
Because you wasn't really doing it for the money. You just
never money motivated. Never wrote a rap saying I'm going to make this amount of money. I wrote a rap for a feeling. the way it made me feel. If it feel good to me, it must be good for me.
So is that what you would say to somebody that's watching this right now, a young person, that money should not be the motivator?
No, it should never be, because if it's meant to be, God will give it to you. You know what I'm saying? You can't write for money, because that's not, then you chasing the wrong thing. You should be writing for a feeling or an expression or what you're trying to release that connects with other people. And chasing that money don't connect with other people, because money don't move people. Money don't make everything go. The people with the most money aren't moved by money. It's the people that don't have money that's moved by it.
What I notice about you in watching you, I've been a fan, is that you're laid back. You're like at a place of, even I was watching some interviews you did prior to this, you're like at a place of peace. You're quiet spoken, yet you command the room. Is that a summation? Are you at a place of peace in your life? Is that what the vibe I get?
Yeah, I mean, I done it all. Like, I'm happy, man. I'm having fun. Like, the young rappers call me Uncle Snoop. That's just a thrill to me, because I seen rappers get old and just get called old. But for them to call me uncle, that shows respect, and they understand me, and they trust me, and I communicate with them, and I try to help them make better decisions than I made. I try to keep the beef to a minimum in the hip-hop industry. I try to be the advocate of peace. So I'm gradually loving the position that I've been given in hip-hop, to not be pushed out by the youngsters, but to be appreciated, to say, this is our uncle. This is hip-hop's uncle, Uncle Snoop.
Which is my next thing I want to go to, longevity. That's a big word for me right now in life. What has been the key or the secret to your longevity, your staying power, where the young rappers will come back and call you uncle, because that is an honor?
I think it's two things. The first thing is I take God everywhere I go. So it's the spirit of God that puts people together and connects the dots. Second is that I stay in tune with the youth. I never get too old or too big to say hello. So when the youth are popping, if it's a young rapper that don't have a lot of money, and he may not have a record deal, and he may reach out and say, Snoop Dogg, I want you on a song, I only got X amount of dollars. And then I do a song with him, and it's on his first album. And then 5 albums later, he's one of the biggest rappers in the world. For example, somebody like Future, somebody like Young Jeezy. These are people that I rapped on their projects before they had big deals with that same scenario. And then they blew up and became bigger than me. And now I'm Uncle Snoop, and if I ever need something, they're going to look out for me.
Well, I did a little research, and I don't think you're going to need anything, because they say that you're kind of wealthy, and say that you've been wise with your money. And I brought that up for a reason, because there's so many that haven't been. Where did you learn to be wise with your money and to invest? And I know you give back and all that, but what caused you to one day say, I'm not going to be like some of the rest? I mean, we call some names, and they're broke. Well,
I was almost bankrupt. I was in that lane. I was one of those rappers that didn't understand that there was a man named Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach you that when you get in hip-hop. They don't teach you the dynamics of what to do with the money and how to invest the money. It's just like athletes. Same thing with young athletes. When they come into the NFL or the NBA, they get those millions of dollars, and then when their career's over with, they're broke, because they didn't teach you that in college. When you're in college, you can't make money. So it's like we were never given the instructions or the handbook on what to do with the money. So we have to learn on the job and make mistakes. The mistakes that I made, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to try to re-scramble and do it over again and say, well, I'm a hustler first. My mentality is to hustle for my family by any means necessary. I was a provider. And a lot of times we provide more than we put love in the house. And that's what I was in the beginning. I was more of a provider, where my whole move was just making money, 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 money. This when I pull back and say it's about love, and I'm going to pick and choose what I do. And every move that I make has to be something that I love to do, and not just because it's money, but because I love doing it. And if it's meant for me to have money, I'll get as much as I need.
I keep hearing you saying that same thing. It's about your passion and what you love to do, and money is not the motivator. I hope somebody is really listening to that. I want to talk politics for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. Your president?
No.
He ain't mine
I
either.
call him 45.
Right.
That's all I call him.
I'm just saying.
And as a preacher, I have to pray for him because the Bible commands
yeah,
us to pray
you
for
do.
him.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in my lane.
As you should. I'm gonna stay in mine.
No. But I love it. So I notice. I read your posts all the time. What do you think about what's going on? Kanye going to the White House to meet with him.
That just behooves me because you have so many people that support you, Kanye, that love you, and if you send the wrong message, will follow you because they follow you.
Influence.
Yeah, my fans follow me. If I take my fans down a dark alley, they coming with me. Half of them coming. And they don't care what's at the end of the alley, they coming. So that's what I'm saying when I reach out to him, when I speak negative to him about being associated with him. It's because I realize how many people are going to go down that road and possibly be brainwashed, and it can affect the future. But I know what we've done in hip-hop. We've created a thought process to where the next 2 presidents are going to be hip-hop born and raised, and their whole influence is going to be hip-hop. Can't do nothing but run from it or run to it. And when they get in office, they're going to be raised with love because hip-hop is love. Hip-hop is raised so many nations and taught so many people English and so many people how to communicate that this is probably the most connected form of music to life in general, hip-hop. You can't say that about any other form of music but hip-hop. So when I say that, we have to understand what our influence is. We influence people around the whole globe, different countries. It's people that came up to me that told me, I didn't even know how to speak English till I heard your records. Your records taught me how to speak English. So that's how impactful hip-hop is. So when he moves with the president, and the president is with nonsense and has problems with Christians, Muslims, these people, you're saying that you have a problem with them too because association by affiliation.
You know, there are those that would say that the only way that you can influence what's going on, you have to sit at the table with the players. Do you disagree with that? I mean,
but the players have to have ears and not just mouths.
So you think it's a photo op?
I know it is because if you're not hearing and putting into action, like my conversation would be like how we had on the shop at LeBron's little situation on HBO. He had real people in there that was listening, talking, and about change and about making something happen and about me criticizing you and you not taking it the wrong way and you criticizing me and me not taking it the wrong way. It's called constructive criticism. And a lot of times people get offended when somebody checking you on what you're not doing right. But it's a mirror. You can look at yourself and see what you're doing right or wrong.
What would you say right now if you did sit down with Donald Trump? What would you say to him?
I would holler at him. I would holler at him on some real talk. But I would want my conversation to be out. I don't want no closed doors. I want everybody to hear. You feel what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be no secret. Because those behind closed doors conversations, you're not really getting to the meat and the bulk of it all because you don't know what was said and what wasn't said. I'm open. I don't have no skeletons in my closet. Let's chop it up like me and you doing. Sit down one-on-one. You can mediate.
Yeah, I would love it.
Let the bishop mediate to make sure there's no mess.
I love it. Call me if they call you now.
You
don't forget me. Gospel music and Snoop.
Yes.
First of all, and I'm not just saying it. Matter of fact, you know, I don't think that I have to know you to defend.
Right.
But I'm out of the box. I love that you did it.
Yes,
we
sir.
need to influence on all genres. And so I salute you for it publicly.
Thank you, brother.
Matter of fact, I reposted and I posted
you,
it.
brother.
I'm not just saying this because you're here.
Thank you.
But I think that it was one of the greatest projects. It made #1. Why? Why did you do it?
My granny, man. I used to go to my grandmother's house before she passed away, and all she would be having on her TV was Jimmy Swaggart. Like 24/7, like listening to his music. And she could never listen to my music. And I didn't get offended, but I felt some kind of way because my granny would brag about me and her friends would always say, your grandson is this and that. But she could never quote a song or say he did this. So I knew how much gospel music meant to her. So I said, let me make an album that my granny could look down from heaven and say,
yeah.
My grandson finally got it. He understood the way I raised him. He found his way back home. Yeah. And when you do it, you can't play with it. You can't just go and make a gospel album and just play with it. It's the spirit all over this record. And everybody that I called in had the spirit of, man, please.
Clark Sisters.
Man, please. And
Detroit
they wasn't playing.
Zone.
They wasn't playing.
Yeah.
They came in there doing their thing. And what was so beautiful is that they didn't even question me. When I called, they was like, yes, We love you. We want to be a part of it. We know your spirit. It wasn't, well, what is it? What's the album about? Well, brother, are you none of that. Just get right to it and get on it like you want it.
Yeah. Who did you, you know, it's just me and you talking to anybody. Who did you enjoy working with the most out of all of them? You tell me.
Let me see. It's probably the brother Rance.
Yeah, his picture's up. They got it up right now.
The brother Rance, his hair is so pretty. I mean, I aspire to have pretty hair like that at his age. I mean, and he's such a, his spirit, when we talked on the phone, that particular record that we did on the album, I reached out, I said, Brother Rance, I want you on the album. He said, you know what, Brother Snoop? You may not believe me, but 1995, I wrote a song called Blessing Me Again, and I really wanted you to be on it, but I didn't know how to get in contact with you. And I said, well, Brother Rance, where can I find this song? He said, you got to Google it. So I went on YouTube and I Googled it, found it, gave it to my producer, Lonnie. We flipped the music, put my verse on it, and we brought that song back to life because that's the song that he wanted me on 20-some years ago, and that's how God worked.
So he chose the song?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Blessing Me Again.
Wow. Amazing. So, you know, in anything, there's criticism, controversy.
Right.
And, you know, my thing is all of us have sinned and come short. All of us.
I'm going to sin when I leave here.
Yeah.
Immediately. Immediately.
I love it. And some of us sit in the studio.
And I'm going to repent right after.
Yeah. So what did you say? That's probably what you said to the criticism, huh? What you saying right now?
Right now.
Yeah.
My God is a forgiving God, last I checked.
Yeah.
He ain't judgmental. He's not going to criticize me for what I do wrong. He's going to praise me for what I do right. So long as I do more right than wrong, that's what I'm on a mission to do. I used to lead people to the darkness, like I was saying earlier. My fans would go with me. I took them down that dark alley many nights, and I didn't like it. Now I'm taking them to the light, and I'm loving it. And I'm appreciating the fact that they still with me. They riding with me. They sticking it out.
Here's what I want to ask you. How many of those fans, you talking about influence, because really what you're talking about, influence, they'll go with you, just like Donald Trump say he can shoot people on the Fifth Avenue and they'll still, that's influence. How many people do you think that may not listen to Rance Allen, the Clark sisters, the gospel music, that because Snoop did it, you got people that wrote to you and say, you know, I'm not using it, but I really liked what you did?
It opened up fan bases on both sides because I got aunties and, you know, older people in my family that telling me that they friends know me and love my music now. Just like I got young rappers saying, man, I want to do a song with Rance Allen or the Clark sisters, or can you get me Marvin Sapp on a song? Can you get me Mary? Because they see that everybody's hip. It used to be for many years that they would try to keep our world secular. I don't like that word. Music is music. We all came from church. We making this kind of music that feels good to us for the time being, but we keeping God with us everywhere we go. We keeping God in our music. Every time you hear a song, we praising God. Every time we win an award, what's the first thing we say? Every rapper that's ever won an award, his first line when he get to that stage is, thank
you, Jesus.
God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's his first line. That ain't scripted. That's real.
Yeah, you know, the Bible says, I'm not here to preach, but he said, I have sheep that is not of this fold. Everybody is not going to come up in the walls. And there's a new marketplace, and entertainment is part of it. Redemption of a Dog.
Yes. Yes.
Now you're on the road with a play. I mean, you're multi-talented, multifaceted. What caused you to do this play?
Challenging. It was something I never done, and it was something that I felt like it was going to be hard for me to do.
Are you at that place in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's midlife crisis. I don't know what they call it.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't know what they call it, but I'm just challenging. I'm loving.
Look, I love
it.
Snoop Dogg.
I love the challenge.
Right.
So it's like it put me in a position where I had to study, had to get back on my A game. I had to find emotions and find, you know, different ways of presenting my message, because this story is about me. Redemption of a Dog is about me, my wife, me choosing my legacy and my life, and then realizing that I need God. I need my wife. So it's like one of those stories where you can really sit down and enjoy it. And it's a family story where the whole family can come watch it and enjoy it.
It's going all over the country.
Yes, sir.
Check your local listings. Who should come see it? Is it a family play?
I think the gangsters, the Christians, mama and them, auntie and them, my cousins, homeboy and them at the liquor store. Baby Boy and them over there, Lil Mama and them over there. Everybody. It's for. I mean, I'm telling you, Bishop, it's so hard to explain, but it's so entertaining. It's like I wish I could just sit in the crowd and watch it. It's that good.
Let's talk about some fun stuff. When you're not doing plays and you're not on stage, how does Snoop enjoy life? Is there a balance to life?
Video games. I like playing video games. I'm a big old kid.
Okay.
I like playing games. My grandson, he's a treat because he works me out to the fullest. This little guy loves running around and just he's so full of life, and that's my inspiration to just be there for him and to try to have more energy than him, and that's what I like to do on downtime when I don't have to be Snoop Dogg taking pictures, signing autographs. Just be regular, just be a regular old guy.
Who do you, if I took your phone and looked at your playlist, what kind of music you listen to? Because, you know, like me, I don't listen to the kind of preacher that I am. I listen to something altogether different. What do you listen to?
R&B, Temprees, Manhattans, Dramatics, Stylistics,
Old school.
Curtis Mayfield, player music, you know, music that make me feel right. And then I slap on some Clark Sisters, the Winans. I slap on some.
Yeah, you was humming a gospel song right before we came on. I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my spirit got to be right. Like, one thing about me, if you know me, Snoop Dogg's spirit is right. Like, it's got to be right. Like, I don't play music before I go on stage because that ain't getting my spirit right. You may walk in my dressing room and hear some Lenny Williams or hear somebody in there really crooning and singing high notes and be like, he finna go do a rap show listening to this? Yeah, because I need to be in my mode before I deliver this sermon.
When I do a lot of things for young preachers to encourage them, and I try to look at, you know, if I'm gone on to glory, will the preaching game still be okay? What I'm leaving behind.
Right.
When you look at rap music and the young artists that are coming behind you, let's say further up the road, 20, 30 years you're gone, would it be in good hands?
I think that rap is in great hands. Look at where it started. It started in the Bronx with them hooking up equipment, didn't even know how to hook it up the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So from where it is, from that day to today, I believe it's in great hands. It's so universal. It's so well received, and it's so loved to where there's always going to be somebody aspiring. We never thought there would be a white rapper as dope as Eminem. Speaking of Detroit's own, and he changed the game. And nobody thought that rap could go the direction that it went when he came out. So that's just saying there's always room for something different in rap and for it to be in the hands of somebody who knows how to handle it to take it to the next generation.
We only have a few minutes left. What is it that you've done that have been some memorable things in your life? Like you say, you know, that was something that I'm glad I did, and that's something that stays at the top of your list that you were glad that you did. Memorable moments from Snoop.
One was I performed for Muhammad Ali's 74th birthday.
Oh, wow.
And I know a lot of y'all know the champ wasn't able to really move and talk too much when he got up in age. But I was watching him. When everybody was performing, he was just sitting like this. When I hit the stage, the champ was... he found his groove. I don't know how he found it. Then I went and sat next to him, and all his daughters was like, Daddy had so much fun when you was on stage. He ain't moved like that in years. Daddy was smiling, and Daddy was this, and Daddy was that. Then the champ grabbed me, and he did like this to me.
Oh, wow.
And that made me
The
feel so
greatest,
good
yeah.
that the champ
Yeah.
let me know that I was crazy like him. Like, it was like I made him feel good. Like, he like, you just as crazy as me. Like, I read through the lines. If he was able to talk, I know what he would have said. You just as crazy as me. You doing what I do. You the people's champ. Keep doing your thing. And that's why I think I received his spirit. When I was a kid, I remember Muhammad Ali. When I walk in buildings, I feel like Muhammad Ali. And that's just the aura of how he was received, like the people's champ. Everybody loved Muhammad Ali. And it's starting to feel like that towards me now.
Yeah. What is it that you have not done, as we get ready to wrap, that you have not done that you would like to do, that you have not done?
Take a vacation.
That sounds so simple.
To the average man.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, to a workaholic, it's like it's foreign because we put that off for work. Like, work, because I provide. I'm a provider, like I said earlier. I provide for many people in my family, and I love it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't cry about it or complain. I'm the breadwinner. This is what I do.
Blessed. Yeah.
And I love giving back. I love putting a smile on my mama's face and putting smiles on people's faces that they don't have to work and they got what they need, and I can go provide that for them.
There will be one day that Bishop Davis, Snoop is gone. How would you like people to remember Snoop Dogg?
I'm going to let my work speak for me because it's going to be too hard for me to try to explain it. I think my grandmother said it best. She said that, baby, don't worry about what nobody say about you. God going to judge you by your work. Let your work speak for you.
I believe that there's somebody watching right now. I want you to take 1 minute, look at the camera, and just encourage some young man, some young woman who was like, man, I didn't hear about him until, because they go to church all the time, tell that gospel thing. Encourage them. There's a Snoop Dogg in them. There's greatness in them.
Yes, there is greatness in you. I see greatness in you. One thing I want to say to anybody out there that's listening that may not have understanding, to master yourself is the key. And what I mean by that is to just learn to love and appreciate yourself and to love everything about yourself and love why you're here and understand why you're here and try to be a better person and take your losses like you take your wins. Take defeats like you take your wins. So it's hard to understand, but once you try to embody that and you live that way, you'll become a better person. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always calm and relaxed. I was edgy and feisty, but I had to learn how to better myself. So I want to say to people out there that's looking and watching, learn how to better yourself, keep God first, and walk soft and carry a big stick.
I love it. Redemption of a Dog,
yes, sir.
Snoop Dogg. Go see it across the country. It's been my honor, man. Thank
Bishop,
you.
You sharp as a mosquito's needle, too. I want to say that. You sharp, boy.
On,
you sharp, though. I'm looking at your game. You went straight to DVD with the shoes. You sharp. Sharp on them.
That's an honor coming from you.
Man, I'm telling you, man, you sharp, Bishop. I'm mad I ain't dressed up for you. You understand me? You got your look together.
You good. I really would prefer, but yeah, I like them shoes and everything. What size you wear?
Your size?
Yeah. The Word Network, Snoop Dogg, Greg Davis Live, y'all. Support the place. Support this man. We'll see you next time here on the
Shout out to my mama, the evangelist Beverly Green. Church, preach, tabernacle.
Plug.